Brace yourself, because what I'm about to unleash isn't just a story. It's dynamite ready to blow up the entire internet. Picture this. The one document the world has been begging for, the autopsy report that holds the key to T. Hood's mysterious end, has finally leaked. And no, this isn't some watered-down version fed to the public. This is raw, unfiltered truth. And let me tell you, it doesn't just shock, it detonates. The kind of revelation that can crush legacies, wreck families, and set social media on absolute fire. Now here's where it gets bone-chilling. Kirk. Yes, that Kirk. The man whispered about in backrooms, the shadow behind the curtains. According to whispers turning into roars, his fingerprints may be smeared all over this scandal. We're talking payoffs under the table, favors forced onto doctors, and backdoor deals that were never supposed to see daylight. But the mask has slipped, and the report, the one they fought tooth and nail to bury, has clawed its way into the light. So what happened that night? Was it chaos? Was it betrayal? Or was it something far darker, orchestrated by people smiling in our faces while playing us like fools? Keep watching, because we're about to tear open a web of lies, exposing truths so raw you'll laugh, gasp, and question every single thing you thought you knew. This isn't news. This is a ticking time bomb, and it just went off. All right, deep breath, because now we step straight into the fire. The T. Hood case isn't some random headline scrolling past your feed. This is the story. Twisted, layered, dripping in betrayal, something Hollywood couldn't script better if it tried. And at the very eye of the hurricane, Kirk. The man who doesn't just play dirty, he rewrites the rules whenever the heat turns up. T. Hood's death, wrapped in violence and mystery, has already gripped the nation. But the missing piece? That autopsy. Locked away for months. Officials claimed procedure. Insiders claimed corruption. And now, the lock is broken, the pages are loose, and the truth is far darker than anyone could imagine. Every word inside that document screams conspiracy. Every detail points toward a chilling reality the public was never supposed to uncover. The cast of this nightmare? First, T. Hood himself, painted as both fighter and target. Then his family, desperate, clawing for justice through walls of silence and deceit. And then Kirk, the wild card. The man insiders swear moved money in shadows, greased palms, and made sure the real truth was shackled away. Delay after delay, trick after trick, until now. Before this leak, online detectives had already turned into full-blown investigators, whispering theories, dissecting scraps of info, predicting a cover-up in plain sight. But the autopsy didn't just confirm their fears, it ripped the mask clean off. Alleged tension between Kirk and T. Hood's circle? Oh, it's not just whispers anymore. Payments, threats, power moves, all roads circle back to him. And the report itself? Brutal. The scene painted in ink is darker than any rumor could have hinted. Violence breaking out, T. Hood struggling, fighting tooth and nail to survive until that final shot rang out. But here's the shocker, the report suggests T. Hood didn't go down easy. He fought back. He wasn't a passive victim, which means the polished story sold to the public. Just a half-truth, carefully packaged, expertly disguised. But the leak? It flips everything upside down. The reaction? Pure chaos. The second the leak hit the internet, social media went nuclear. Twitter lit up like wildfire, people screaming, the cover-up just collapsed in real time. One anonymous source whispered, he owned influence in every corner. Money didn't just talk, it silenced. And he's been whispering for months. Another chilling comment, if the public had seen this report earlier, entire careers would have gone up in flames. The truth? It's filthier than anyone dared to imagine. And let's talk numbers, because allegedly, Kirk didn't just slide a couple of envelopes under the table. No, this was an operation. A spiderweb of bribes, doctors, city officials, clerks, even minor bureaucrats, allegedly bent to his will. Lavish dinners, secret payments, favors that couldn't be refused. What was supposed to be a clear-cut self-defense case now looks like a Hollywood crime drama scripted behind locked doors by a man powerful enough to bend reality itself. The leaked autopsy lays it bare. T. Hood fought. Backed into a corner, bloodied and bruised, he clawed for survival while the invisible hands of power tried to twist his fate into something else. And when the truth surfaced, social media erupted. Tweets screamed, "Finally, justice speaks." Others spat venom. If Kirk's behind this, he better pay the price. Memes exploded, timelines turned into crime scene boards, half serious analysis, half internet chaos. But the timing? Oh, it couldn't be more suspicious. Just as whispers about a delayed autopsy hit their peak, the document mysteriously drops. Accident? Please. Someone wanted the world to choke on the truth. Suddenly, comment sections turned into battlefields, influencers dissected every paragraph, and forums morphed into digital courtrooms. The court of public opinion had already lit its torches. And the details? Darker than anyone imagined. According to the report, T-Hood wasn't just shot, he was assaulted first. Struck, restrained, even choked. Forced to fight back with everything he had, his so-called defensive actions were survival instincts in motion. Every page screams manipulation, every line drips with alleged bribery and carefully engineered deception. And looming over it all, Kirk's shadow. The outrage is volcanic. Fans and critics alike are demanding names, demanding accountability, demanding to know how deep this rabbit hole of corruption really goes. This isn't just about T-Hood, it's about a system infected from the inside out, one viral tweet declared. Another read, "If this document is real, Kirk crossed boundaries no one could even dream of." Yet while the internet rages, Kirk's alleged maneuvers remain cloaked. Money trails, secret influence, pressure in all its forms, still hidden behind smoke. Meanwhile, T-Hood's family is clawing tooth and nail for justice, for transparency, for the truth that's been muffled for too long. And with the autopsy now unchained from the vault, many of those whispered rumors suddenly look terrifyingly real. But here's the chilling truth bomb. This isn't only about the violence. It's about power. How one man's influence can warp timelines, twist stories, and bury the truth under layers of manipulation. The autopsy doesn't just tell a story, it's a spotlight on corruption at its darkest. And as always, the internet eats it alive. Viral threads, memes, heated debates. It's not just a scandal anymore. It's a spectacle, a storm that refuses to die, sucking millions of people deeper into the mystery with every passing hour. This doesn't play out like a simple case. It unravels like a high-budget drama series, complete with villains, cover-ups, and shocking reveals. T-Hood, once painted as a helpless victim, is now seen in a new light, fighting back, clawing for his life. And in the background? Kirk. The man allegedly moving pieces like a puppeteer, bribing, manipulating, and twisting the narrative before the world could see the real truth. But now that the autopsy has ripped through the shadows, the entire game has changed. The truth is no longer just shocking, it's dangerous. The questions flooding the public are brutal. Will justice finally catch up? Will Kirk face accountability if these whispers solidify into proof? And what about T-Hood's family? Will they finally get the answers they've begged for after months of silence? The leaked report doesn't just answer, it throws gasoline on the fire, creating a storm of outrage, speculation, and fear. And one thing is now crystal clear. This is no longer just a case. It's a scandal, a spectacle of corruption, manipulation, and resilience that's dominating every conversation, every feed, every screen. The autopsy doesn't just reveal what happened. It shows how power bends truth, how influence reshapes perception, and how one family's relentless fight for justice can expose the rot hiding in plain sight. So here's the scene: T-Hood's desperate defensive struggle, the brutal revelations in the leaked document, and Kirk's alleged shadowy maneuvers to suffocate the truth. The public won't stop buzzing. The media is ablaze. And the internet? It's eating this up like wildfire. Every new leak, every rumor, every scrap of evidence fueling a storm that refuses to die. But the biggest question remains: how far down does this rabbit hole go? And trust me, you'll want to stay strapped in, because what comes next peels back the mask even further. Every allegation, every leak, every hidden deal, it's all about to get darker. Now let's tear deeper into the chaos, the whispers, the backroom bribes, and the alleged secrets Kirk thought he had buried. Because if the first part had you gasping, this next part will leave you breathless. The leaked autopsy doesn't just tell of a shooting, it maps out a violent chain of events. T-Hood wasn't some bystander in a domestic scuffle. No, the report paints a picture of brutality, struck, restrained, even choked before the final shot. His defensive actions weren't instinct, they were survival. He was cornered, forced to fight for his life, while, allegedly, Kirk worked behind the scenes to bury every trace of truth. That's right, Kirk. The supposed puppet master lurking in the shadows. Anonymous insiders, terrified of going on record, claim he funneled money like water, ensuring doctors stalled, officials lost documents, and gatekeepers looked the other way. Think bribes, luxury perks, envelopes passed in silence. One chilling insider even whispered, Kirk made sure the right people were too comfortable to talk until the timing was in his favor. And why the secrecy? Because the details in that report were never meant for public eyes. The timeline itself reeks of manipulation. It doesn't just show a struggle, it shows a story being bent, twisted, rewritten. The autopsy might confirm parts of the narrative, but it also raises the most damning question: who controlled the truth before this leak? Every trail of suspicion leads back to one name: Kirk. The internet's reaction? Explosive. Chaos turned into wildfire. One viral tweet screamed, Kirk really thought he could bribe the truth? Guess what? Truth leaks louder than money. Another thundered, this isn't just self-defense, it's corruption on display for the world to see. Within hours, memes flooded feeds, influencers dissected every sentence, and threads spiraled into full-blown conspiracy boards. And according to reports, Kirk's network wasn't small. Doctors, clerks, even law enforcement insiders allegedly nudged, bought, or pressured to stall the autopsy's release and control public perception. But now, the dam has broken. With the report in the hands of T-Hood's family, the ugly truth is out. T-Hood's fight wasn't just against attackers, it was against a system poisoned by money and power. Meanwhile, Kirk's silence speaks volumes. No statements, no denials, just whispers of payments and screenshots surfacing like oil on water. He may have thought he was 10 steps ahead, but the leak proves one thing: you can't bury the truth forever. And now, the world is watching. Now let's peel back the layers of what the leaked report actually reveals, and trust me, it's uglier than anyone imagined. First, T-Hood wasn't just involved in some random altercation, he was ambushed. Pushed, struck, restrained. Then, in a desperate fight for his life, he defended himself, and only then came the fatal moment. Here's the twist. According to the documents, those shots came after T-Hood had no other option left. A textbook case of survival. But instead of letting the truth surface, Kirk allegedly stepped in to smother it, stalling, suppressing, making sure that reports stayed buried for months. Convenient, right? And here's where jaws drop: the money trail. Insiders whisper Kirk didn't just slide a few bills under the table. No, he allegedly dropped a fortune to freeze the truth. Doctors, clerks, investigators, all allegedly bought off, advised, or nudged with bribes and perks. Imagine it, while T-Hood fought for his life, Kirk was allegedly fighting to rewrite history behind locked doors. It's bold. It's scandalous. And it's exactly the kind of mess that sends the internet spiraling. And spiral it did. Public reaction hit like a bomb. Fans, activists, even amateur detectives turned Twitter into a war zone. One viral tweet screamed, Kirk tried to bury the autopsy, but you can't bury the truth. Another, if these leaks are even half true, this isn't just bribery, it's a conspiracy to erase a man's fight for survival. Comment sections transformed into battlegrounds. Forums blew up with theories. And the memes? Endless. Some funny, some vicious, but all keeping the spotlight burning hot. The timing makes it even more suspicious. Why now? Why, after months of silence, does the truth finally leak? Was it the family, tired of begging for justice? Or was it an insider, sick of carrying the weight of secrecy? Either way, the report shattered the polished story mainstream outlets had been spoon-feeding the public. And Kirk? The alleged puppet master now sits in the center of a storm he can't dodge. But it gets darker. Alleged insider info claims this wasn't just about hiding violence, it was about controlling reality itself. Kirk allegedly decided who could see the report, who could speak about it, even who could interpret the findings for the public. The leaked pages expose more than a death. They expose how power twists the truth until it becomes unrecognizable. Meanwhile, T-Hood's family? Done waiting. Done being silenced. After months of secrecy, they pushed the nuclear button, releasing the original report themselves. And the fallout? Instant chaos. Hashtags skyrocketing. Outrage trending. Viral threads branding this the cover-up of the year. In real time, the internet is dissecting every line, every alleged bribe, every timeline discrepancy, and every finger pointing at Kirk. And the psychology? It's almost cinematic. On one side, Kirk, allegedly pulling strings, throwing money, rewriting the script. On the other, T-Hood cornered, bruised, but refusing to go quietly. That contrast, the power versus the fighter, is why the public is obsessed. It's not just violence anymore. It's a clash between manipulation and resilience, between corruption and truth. The internet isn't just watching, they're prosecuting. Hashtags calling for Kirk's accountability are trending. Legal experts and armchair detectives alike are piecing together possible fallout. Anonymous sources are hinting at civil lawsuits, ethics probes, maybe even criminal investigations. While officials keep their lips sealed, the leaked autopsy has already tipped the scales of public opinion. And in today's world, that's just as deadly as any courtroom verdict. But here's the kicker, the family's move blindsided him. Kirk, allegedly convinced he had the narrative on a leash, never saw it coming. And now, every hidden payment, every rumor, every whisper is front-page news in the court of social media. He's not just dealing with a leak, he's drowning in a PR nightmare. Because this saga isn't only about one violent night, it's about control. Who writes the story, who hides the truth, and how far someone will go to protect their empire. The leaked autopsy is the smoking gun. Proof that T-Hood fought to survive, proof that silence was bought, proof that manipulation was allegedly alive at every level. And with Kirk now painted as the shadow behind it all, this scandal isn't ending anytime soon. And now the fallout. Oh, honey, this is where it gets juicy. The report's out. The family's fighting back. The internet's on fire. And Kirk, the man who allegedly thought he could bury it all, is standing in a spotlight so blinding, there's nowhere left to hide. The leaked autopsy didn't just spill facts, it tore the mask off an entire system. It exposed raw power, alleged hush money, and manipulation so brazen it has the world asking, how deep does this go? Outrage is flooding every platform. One viral tweet screams, how dare someone bury the truth while a family mourns? Another blasts, Kirk's influence is terrifying. If money can silence death itself, what else has been hidden? Within hours, memes, viral TikToks, and fiery reaction videos turned this case into the internet's latest obsession. And now, the legal storm brews. Experts warn that if even half of these bribery claims stick, Kirk could face fire from every angle, ethics boards, civil courts, maybe even federal investigators. Could charges land for tampering with an official autopsy? Social media lawyers are already debating it like a live trial, and audiences are glued to every theory. The suggestion alone has fans bracing for impact. Meanwhile, T-Hood's family has become the face of resistance. By dragging the report out of the shadows, they didn't just defend his name, they exposed a network of alleged corruption that people are now demanding answers for. A family member was quoted saying, "We didn't care who got mad, we just wanted the truth." And with those words, the narrative flipped. Suddenly Kirk isn't in control of the story, he's trapped inside it. Public opinion? Explosive. Yes, a handful defend him, calling it overblown drama or routine delays. But the majority? They see this as corruption uncovered in broad daylight. TikTok threads are breaking it down like crime documentaries, Twitter spaces are packed with debates, and Instagram is flooded with memes roasting Kirk as the man who tried to buy silence. The case has gone from tragedy to full-blown cultural phenomenon. But the real story here? It's about power. How far someone will allegedly go to bury the truth. How one grieving family forced the world to see what was meant to stay hidden. And how influence, no matter how heavy, crumbles when the receipts leak. This isn't just scandal. It's a war between truth and control, and right now, truth is winning. So let me ask you, what's your take? Was Kirk really pulling the strings, buying silence, and shaping the narrative? Or is this all wild speculation spun out of control? Could justice finally crack down on the alleged cover-up? And most importantly, what does this reveal about how easily truth can be twisted in cases like this? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your theories. Smash that like button if this story has you shook, and don't forget to subscribe, because trust me, this saga is far from finished. The leaks are just the beginning. The truth is out. The receipts are undeniable. And the drama? Oh, it's only heating up from here. Because if you think this is the end, you're wrong. This story isn't over, it's just the opening act. And you'll want to be here for every twist, every leak, and every jaw-dropping reveal that's still to come.